The latest round of negotiations between Russia and Ukraine produced possible signs of progress, with the Ukrainian delegation laying out a framework for a peace deal. AP correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
Ukraine would declare itself neutral with its security guaranteed by a group of third countries, including the U.S., neighboring Poland, and China, among others. The head of the Russian delegation characterized Ukraine's proposals as a positive step. Meanwhile, the Russians say they'll fundamentally cut back military activity around the capital Kyiv and the northern city of Chernihiv in an effort to build trust. That's been met with skepticism. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby.
We believe that this is a repositioning, not a real withdrawal.
Ukraine's military offers a similar assessment, saying any apparent withdrawal is more likely just a rotation of units intended to mislead, while Russian forces regroup to focus on the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. I'm Ben Thomas.
The UN Refugee Agency says more than 4 million refugees have now fled Ukraine following Russia's invasion. The release of the figure Wednesday is a new milestone in the largest refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. The new figure was posted on an UNRWA website. Ukraine's agriculture ministry says it's losing $1.5 billion a month in blocked agriculture exports since the Russian invasion. This news comes a day after the UN food chief warned the war in Ukraine has created, quote, a catastrophe on top of a catastrophe, end quote, and will have a global impact, quote, beyond anything we've seen since World War II, end quote. David Beasley, executive director of the UN World Food Program, says the crisis is because many of the Ukrainian farmers who normally produce a significant amount of the world's wheat are now fighting Russians. U.S. President Joe Biden has signed a bill into law to make lynching a federal hate crime. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act is named after the black teenager whose 1955 killing in Mississippi became a galvanizing moment in the civil rights era. During remarks in the Rose Garden Tuesday, Vice President Kamala Harris said the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act was long overdue.
Today we are gathered to do unfinished business, to acknowledge the horror in this part of our history, to state unequivocally that lynching is and has always been a hate crime, and to make clear that the federal government may now prosecute these crimes as such.
During the ceremony, President Biden stressed how the violent deaths of Black Americans were used to intimidate them and prevent them from voting. Egypt's president met with Sudan's top general Wednesday for talks focusing on ties between the two countries. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received General Abdel Fattah Burhan, head of the ruling sovereign council in Sudan, at Cairo International Airport. Both leaders then reviewed an honor guard before sitting down to discuss bilateral issues, according to Egypt's state-run television. The talks are likely to include the two nations' dispute with Ethiopia over a massive dam that Ethiopia is building on the Blue Nile. Israeli forces operating in the West Bank have arrested 5 Palestinians for alleged involvement in a deadly shooting attack in central Israel. In a statement Wednesday, the military said the suspects were being questioned. Israeli police say the attacker, who used an assault rifle to methodically gun down victims from a motorcycle in a central Israeli city, was a Palestinian. China's leaders are trying to fine-tune their zero-tolerance COVID-19 strategy to rein in job losses and other costs to the world's second-largest economy. As millions of people in Shanghai line up for coronavirus tests, authorities are promising tax cuts for shopkeepers in the closed-down city and to keep its busy port functioning to limit disruptions to industry and trade. A small volcano in a scenic lake near the Philippines capital belched a white plume of steam and ash 1.5 kilometers into the sky in a brief explosion Saturday, prompting authorities to raise the alert level and urge thousands of residents to protectively evacuate from high-risk villages.
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope the videos are useful for you. Please subscribe to my channel using the button below.